Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And this is Questions, Coffee, and Cars 200.
Can you believe we're at 200? We have done, as of today, 200 episodes.
So we decided to switch things up. So let's get into it.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
So change number one, you guys asked for it. You wanted us to do it in Ruby.
Ruby, our Mazda Miata.
Roof
Great,
down.
Fabulous. Summer day, hard to beat Ruby.
Perfect for summer. And then we decided to do Ask Us Anything. So there are some car-related questions in here, but there are also questions related to us and the channel. So you ready, Andrea?
Ready?
Your questions from Instagram.
Hello from Toronto. Absolutely love your videos. They're not only super informative, but also smile-inducing. Thank you. I have a question for both of you. What are your top 3 favorite cars you ever owned and or currently own? You want to go first?
You want to do your 3 first?
Okay, so first off, obviously, the Miata. It's so fun. Zach and I were just talking about how small it is.
Tiny.
Yeah, after we just reviewed a Mustang, and it's just open and more spacious. But I love driving this on my own. It's just great around town on a beautiful day with the roof down. I absolutely love it. I've enjoyed it so much. Second car, I would say, for sure, I would say the 911, but I know Zach's going to say that.
There can be duplicates, yeah.
Okay, so I really loved the red 911. I thought that was beautiful, and the tan interior.
That one had
I
a
know
black
that one
interior.
had a black interior. Love that one. And then I would say I'm kind of torn between a couple because we currently own a Porsche Cayenne, which is my daily driver, and it's been just such an amazing vehicle. But I'm going to go with the Audi A7. Just everybody thought that that was just such a gorgeous vehicle. It was black with a little bit of chocolate brown in a certain light.
It was called Havana Black.
It was gorgeous, and it had such a bold design in the front that people saw me coming, and I just remember everybody commenting on it. But it wasn't practical in the rear seat when the boys grew.
So Andrea got rid of that and got a Miata.
Got rid of it, yeah. No, the Cayenne.
Okay, I would say, so I have owned a lot of cars, and some of them were kind of cool and fun. Like we've owned 3 Volkswagen vans. Those are kind of cool and fun. They wouldn't make the top 3. I've owned like a ton of Volkswagen GTIs, all those kinds of cars. A Super Beetle Volkswagen, that was a great car. But I would say 5 Series wagon is in there. We had an E34 5 Series wagon, and I just love station wagons, and that was very cool. I would say BMW M6.
Yeah, that was a special one.
BMW M6, that's when Andrea and I started dating. I had that car.
Manual transmission.
Yeah, and then we had a Carrera S, a 993 Carrera S in arena red on black. We also had a Carrera 4S, which was black with tan interior.
Which one would you take out of the 2?
Well, I would take the Carrera S because they're worth a lot more now. And everybody's probably yelling at the screen, why did you get rid of your Carrera S and your Carrera 4S? You know what? Life happens, things happen. You're raising a family,
Kids happen.
living in an expensive city. And you know, we owned 2 of those cars over 10 years, so it kind of got it out of my system. And the other thing is when you drive those old air-cooled 911s, they're old cars. They're not as fast. But I got to say, that arena red on black Carrera S 993 has got to be one of the best looking cars made ever.
Gorgeous. And I also want to point out that even though we sold it, we made some good money off of both of them. Like at the time, it was like, wow, what?
Don't feel bad for us.
No, people want to pay what for this? Like it just made a lot of sense. Who would have known? Of course, we don't have a crystal ball that they were going to go up even more.
But if we had kept them, it would have cost a lot of money to maintain them. But they would have each been worth $100,000 more.
Yeah. Isn't that
crazy? Right? Who would have known? Like 2 things I would have collected over the years. Air-cooled 911s, And certain Rolex models, they've also gone way through the roof. But you don't know. No one knows.
I finally got to one of these posts on time, and I can't think of a question. Do you ever fight over who gets to drive when not driving for work videos, or do you argue about each other's driving styles? Well, Zach prefers to drive for sure. That's just his personality. So I'm not really fussed about it.
It works.
I'm quite happy to let him drive, although I have to say, we do bicker about the Miata. Like Zach always says, can I drive there? And then if, you're not drinking, you drive home.
Yeah, we're going out tomorrow for dinner. So I'll drive there and I'll have a couple of beers, and then Andrea won't drink, so she can drive home.
Yeah.
It works out great. And it works out really well. I like to drive in the city, and then Andrea likes to spend time on her phone. So it's perfect.
It works out
Andrea's
just
always
fine.
on Instagram answering your questions. So it works out. You can thank me.
But I have to say, this goes back before Instagram and questions. That is just Zach's personality. I would say style of driving. I, believe it or not, when you see me in the videos, I know I gun it at the beginning just to feel that acceleration, and I love that. You ready, Zach?
I'm looking forward to this.
Listen to the sound. Oh, yeah. But I'll do that on the road. But I also like to just sit back and watch the road and take my time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like that. But he gets more aggressive and angry.
No. I get vocal at the idiots.
Vocal.
I inside the car, I'm like, you're an idiot. Get out of my way. But I wait for my spot. I sit back and I see an opening, and then I'll go for it. Otherwise, you can't push. Like I always say, you can't push water uphill. You can't make the traffic go faster. But when someone does something stupid inside the car, I yell.
Yeah, he gets really, he doesn't like it, let me tell you. If you had to keep only one vehicle for the rest of your life, which one would it be? Should we do a 3, 2, 1?
A 3, 2, 1? Okay, I got to think about this. What car would take me the rest of the way? Okay, have you got yours?
I have mine, yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Toyota
Corolla.
Hatch. Okay, so here's the scoop behind this question. First off, this is the Toyota PR person, Romerick. Hi, Romerick. So Zach and I thought we would say Corolla for fun.
But the whole thing is, if you had to buy a car that was going to take you the rest of the way, a Corolla would do it. You just
Corolla,
maintain it, it'll run indefinitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
But let's pick, I have my pick. Do you have your pick?
Well,
I know exactly what I would buy, and if I had to only drive that one vehicle for the rest of my life.
Well, I'm going to pick a car that is not practical, but I would like it forever.
Really? But
Yeah.
what if you have kids and stuff?
They can
and
take
you
the
wanna-
bus.
You could take my car.
Sure. Well, this works well because we're married, so we can have a fun car and a practical. What's your practical car?
Okay, so my car, and it's practical, but it's fun. The Audi RS6 Avant. It's going to cost us a pretty penny because I want
it sure looks good.
I want to get the color I want, the wheels I want. Oh my gosh, that gets me excited, and I'd be happy to drive that for the rest of my life.
I would like, well, everybody knows my favorite car is a 911 GT3 Touring.
Yeah.
It's the GT3, but without the big gaudy wing on the back. Just the ultimate sleeper car, 9,000 RPM.
So since we're married, I'm going to give that to Zach because I would rather have a 911 Targa, but someone's
You
got to
have your
make
choice.
the practical choice.
You
so
have your choice.
I'm going with the Audi.
So I'm surprised you didn't go with the new M5 wagon, Andrea.
No.
It's so ugly.
I don't like the look of it, and Audi has done such a good job with the Avant. We saw one in silver the other day. Boy,
They look good.
it looked good.
Looks good in every color.
I know. Have you guys ever been pulled over by Vancouver police while test driving and going faster than you should? I have to say,
Can you plead the fifth on this one?
I'm surprised I haven't. I'm surprised on that UBC highway that I haven't. I hope there is no Vancouver police officer watching this because I don't want you even looking for me.
I have been pulled over, one time here's the irony of ironies, Andrea.
Mm-hmm.
It was in a Miata. It was in Kelowna for the launch of the ABC, the NC Miata.
Mm-hmm.
And I was driving with Lisa McFarlane, got pulled over, and the guy didn't say boo. He just wrote the ticket, And then he gave me the ticket and he says, "Don't you think you should know better?"
Wow.
So he gave me the ticket.
Ouch.
And then another time I
Good
was...
for him.
What do you mean good for him? I
Good
got the
for
ticket.
him.
Another time I got pulled over on the UBC highway. This is without word. It wasn't a press car. It was actually in the 911, the red one. And I went out and I washed the car.
I know, I remember that.
And I took it out for a drive to air dry the air-cooled 911, and then I would wipe it off when I got home. And he pulled me over, and then he says, "License, please." And I'm like, oh no, I forgot to put my wallet in my pocket. I said to him, "I just washed the car and I wanted to drive it and get all the water off it." And he goes, "All right."
I remember that.
Because you can go. He
No,
let me off. He was good. And then the very first day I had that car, I got up early in the morning and I went for a drive. I said to Andrea, "I'm out of here. It's my very first time owning this car." Got up early in the morning and I drove out to by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police detachment in Burnaby. Guy pulled me over. And he says, "Why are you driving so fast?" And I said, "This is my very first day with this car. This beautiful red."
And what did he say?
He goes, "All right." Off
He
you
let
go.
you go. That's nice. You're very lucky, Zach. You're very lucky.
Andrea gets the pretty privilege. I just have I worked in TV in Vancouver, so people know my face privilege, I guess.
Yes.
Because I was doing TV then every day.
Yeah, so they knew you for sure. Greetings from Sacramento, California. Congrats on 200. Thank you. Between you two, who is the wild driver? Who has the most citations? So we kind of discussed wild driver. No one's really a wild driver. He's just more vocal. As for citations, yes, I have gotten a few in my time.
I think we have an average amount of tickets.
We do. We're about the same.
No, I don't have and the other thing is, can't remember how many years it stays on your record. Anyway, we don't have any on our driving record.
No, not at all. Best show. Thank you. What's your future look like personally and professionally?
Well, the problem is our personal and professional life is intertwined.
Yeah, which is actually not bad sometimes because we can really produce a lot of content. If it rains, for example, and we can't film, we have the same schedule. So we can pivot and we can move it to another day. We can work the weekend if need be.
But I was thinking more about the whole travel thing. Like before Andrea came on the channel full time, I used to travel as much as we travel now, but I did it on my own and then I came home. And now that we're doing it all together, we get to travel the world together and test drive new cars. That's not hard, trust me.
No.
Sure, the time change can be a bitch with the jet lag, but the reality that you get to travel with your spouse and you're actually quote unquote working, it's pretty cool. So I think that's kind of where we're at. Is it really what is work and what is kind of just having a good time? It's kind of blurred.
It is kind of blurred. I also think that we would like to extend these trips. Like say we're in Europe. We'd like to extend it by a week. Our issue is that we are really pushing forward with a ton of content right now. And that's what the channel needs. And that's what our viewers want. YouTube is like a black hole. It's never enough. And when Zach worked in TV, but also we did reviews together on motoring TV, you know, when you do a review, it sometimes is 2 months before that review goes out. Well, things have really changed drastically. People want to know the newest and the latest immediately. So if there's a new car launch and we get a first look at it, boy, people are excited about that, especially when it's like a non-luxury brand.
Yeah, well, back when I was doing, so if you're not aware, I did a national TV show in Canada for 17 years called Driving TV, and then went to Motoring TV, and Andrea came on that show for the last season to help out with it. And the reality is that's why all those shows are going away. All of those automotive TV shows are going away because you can't wait for the repeat cycle to end and then for the editor to, I mean, it could be, the video could come out 2 months later. Meanwhile, the internet is being flooded with reviews. So yeah, we're on the right side of history, going with YouTube over traditional media. Traditional media automotive model is broken. A lot of those outlets that you know that are very well known, big names have been around for decades, they're struggling. They're really struggling.
Yeah, it's a tough time for sure. Personally, I think we're in a good place. And we like what we do. We enjoy the travel. We also like being at home. We're reviewing a lot of content each week. Questions, Coffee, and Cars has been super successful for us. It's great interaction with our viewers. So we're really loving it.
I said to Andrea when we pulled up here, I've got this great spot where no cars go
know.
by. And now all these cars go by. I was here yesterday filming and there were no cars.
It's busy.
Now it's today. They
Yeah.
knew we were coming. That's
There's
why.
some Uber Eats going on here.
Oh, tell me
Okay.
the gardener's not parking. I just can't deal with the leaf blower. It's the gardener. Okay, let's see what happens.
Congratulations on making it to episode 200, so rock star. After watching your review on the 2024 Honda Accord Touring, I purchased it. It is a well-built car and I love it. I'm so happy. That's so great. I'm glad you're loving it. How much longer do you think you'll continue to make great reviews? Nothing lasts forever, but I will continue to watch as long as you all keep making them.
I'm getting a feeling that people think that we're old, Andrea. We're not that
We are
old.
not retiring.
We're not retiring.
No, we're going to keep doing this until you
I think
look
that-
at us and go, these two need to retire.
Yeah, well, the audience will tell us when we're
Yeah.
not relevant anymore. And so what we've come to realize is that what we provide is unique, totally unique in the automotive space, that there's a woman and a man with maybe not always the same viewpoints. We're married. We can say cheeky things that people couldn't if they weren't married.
Yeah.
And we produce content for people who are not 22, who are the actual car buying public. So we're kind of in a unique space where we don't really have anybody that does what we do.
No, and we even tell manufacturers, Motor Mouth sells cars. That's what we do. We touch on things in our video to help the consumer purchase the vehicle of their choice. People will kind of binge us and watch different vehicles in the class that they're looking at to make a decision.
We hear that all the time. People
all the
say,
time.
oh, we needed a new car. My wife and I decided we need a new car. And then we started doing research and we found your channel. And then say it's a compact SUV. They watched all the RAV4 videos, all the CRV videos, all the Nissan Rogue videos, and on and on and on. And they said we binged watch all of the cars we were interested in, and now we keep watching, even though we bought the car. So, I mean, I think that's great.
We do. We love it. What is your least favorite event or location that you travel to for the show, and why? I know Zach's.
My least favorite is Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And it's probably, there are a couple of things. There's way too many people there. The traffic's terrible. The plus side for Los Angeles, two major ones, the weather, of course, when we're here in Canada in the winter and you go down there and it's sunny and, it's 70 degrees. And then you've got all those beautiful roads like Angeles Crest Highway that's just outside the city. It is amazing. That is really good. But I'm just tired of going to LA. I mean, if I've gone to LA probably a few hundred times for car launches, I'm just done with LA. I like going somewhere different.
See, I really love California because the weather is usually great. We might have rain in Vancouver and then you go to California. But I like places like La Jolla, San Diego, Newport Beach.
So I don't love LA. I do like down there. That's much better.
It's such an easy trip for us coming from Vancouver, 2.5 to 3 hours, San Francisco. I also like Arizona because that's easy. Now we can get into the bigger cities like New York and Chicago.
Not for car driving events.
No. But for like auto shows or like a first look, going to those areas are great. Areas I
was going to say, I mean, I understand why car companies use California all the time. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Great roads, good weather, good restaurants, nice hotels. It's easy. It's a turnkey.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of going there all the time.
So for me, places I don't like to go, and this is all weather related, I don't really like going to Denver. Nothing against people who live in Denver.
It's the airport.
Oh my goodness, it can be so hard to get in and out of Denver with thunderstorms and lightning. It usually comes in the afternoon. Chicago can be like that. Texas.
Michigan.
Yeah, so it's just such a challenge for us. Sometimes, we end up staying overnight because we can't get out. So I would say that those locations are just really tough for travel. Now, for people who live in Denver, sometimes it's just easy depending on the timing and when you get in and out of that airport.
If you live in Denver, like we know the guys from the fast lane car and the fast lane truck, they live in Colorado. They absolutely have the best setup because that is a United hub, and they can fly anywhere in the continental United States without taking one connection, a direct flight. You want to go to Miami? Direct flight.
Yeah.
You want to go to wherever? Direct flight. So living there is great. Traveling through there is when you get caught.
Totally. Wonderful channel. Thank you. How has the car review space changed over the past several years? And how have you had to adjust your YouTube, Instagram presence to remain growing and at the forefront? Well, we kind of touched on that already with traditional media and like television going away, and how YouTube is a bit of that, not a bit, is a black hole. People want the latest from YouTube and also research on YouTube. You know, it's not only about automotive, it's about anything. You're looking for a new camera, you turn to YouTube. You buy a new phone. I don't know how to use this function on my phone. You go to YouTube and somebody has got it on.
Well, you just look at how you use YouTube yourself. It's the second biggest search engine in the world. Google owns YouTube. Google is number one. YouTube is number two. So we're on the right side of history, as I mentioned earlier. The move is towards video. You know, going on a website and reading 800 words and looking at 10 pictures of a car, I truly believe that is past. It's kind of like the magazine style. I think that people want to sit and have their coffee or their tea in the morning, eat their toast, watch a video on their favorite car, or they're searching for a new camera for their vacation and ingest that information while they're at home and relaxed. I think that's the future is video. People, plus the other thing is people don't like to read. They want to just watch a video.
Or like you even look at short form on YouTube, although we don't do it because our viewers are not huge fans of shorts. They like long format from us. There are people who have a very short attention span, like our boys prefer to watch something that gives them a lot of information quickly.
Yeah, and that's where TikTok lives and YouTube Shorts and Instagram.
And so as you asked about Instagram as well, I think that what we put out on Instagram is quite unique because our viewers skew a little bit older on Instagram. That just happens to be our audience in general. And when I started posting on...
Can I just jump in here quickly? When I say older, it's 35 plus.
Yes.
It's not everybody is collecting a pension. It's that they're not, like a lot of, some enthusiast YouTube channels, for example, they're really young. Like they're teenagers in early 20s.
Yeah.
We're basically 35 and older, people who are buying cars. Anyway,
that's right.
That's all I wanted to say.
So with Instagram, when I started posting for Motormouth, one of the things I really wanted to do, and I said this to Zach, I wanted to put out a mini review on the vehicle and then let everybody know kind of what's coming up and what we're reviewing that week. People seem to like it. It's just a quick snapshot of the vehicle, and I've really honed down on what people are looking for. Like, for example, the pictures, exactly what the interior looks like of the vehicle. And the feedback that I'm getting is that they say, oh, I really like this, how, you know, you give us a quick snapshot of it. So it seems to be working. We'll keep doing what we're doing.
But basically it's the same thing. It's visuals.
Yeah.
People like the visuals.
Love these videos. Have you thought about releasing the audio as a podcast, maybe a week behind the video release, so not to affect the viewership of the original video?
I think the reality is that we have to assign this to one of the kids to get them to do it, but we'll get there.
Maybe Jack. I've been following the show since back when Zach was hosting solo. My question for episode 200 is, do you intentionally take different stances on cars to make the program more engaging, or does it happen naturally? I ask because I know Zach is a true car enthusiast, so am I, yet I find myself agreeing with Andrea more often than with Zach. How does that happen? I just want to add, I am also a car enthusiast.
By the way, when we head out and we start recording our reviews, there is no rehearsal. Nope. And what you're watching is basically one take.
One take.
If we stumble over a word, we do what we call a pickup. We just pick up the sentence again.
Yeah.
But there is no rehearsing, and I don't know what Andrea is going to say. She doesn't know what I'm going to say.
Nope.
And that's the way it goes. Now, you are right. I'm an auto enthusiast. I have been my whole life. I've had lots of cool cars, as we talked about earlier. But the thing is, I have to put my auto journalist hat on, which is I'm looking at the car through the eyes of the person who might actually be buying it. If it was a channel just for stuff I like, it would be GT3 Tourings and M5s and high performance cars and stuff like that. That's what is exciting. But we're in the world of driving CRVs, RAV4s, and Tiguan's, so I have to put my glasses on that look at it through the potential buyer, and that's kind of what I hope you get, is that I'm looking at it pragmatically.
I mean, I would love to drive the vehicles that Supercar Blondie drives, but
You could do that.
But
We should call
that's not the channel.
I think we should call you Family Car Blondie.
So the way I review a vehicle is that I put myself in the shoes of the consumer. I, as a woman with a family, I want to look at a subcompact SUV, and I review it based on what I like, what I don't like, what features it's missing, just to give you guys an idea about the value that you can get from one brand versus another, or the interior space, or is power sufficient? Do we like the automatic? Is it okay that it has a CVT?
And that's where I'm jumping in here, because it's like a lot of times you're like, yeah, it's fine. Yes, I would like it to have another 100 horsepower, but that's not the reality of the person who's buying the car. You have to look at it through the lens of the potential buyer. So hopefully you get that from us. And when we do get a car that's really fun and powerful, it's like, woohoo, like that Z4 from BMW.
Yeah.
That was right up my alley. That's my kind of car. Is a Nissan Rogue going to get me excited? No, but people buy them, so we review it.
Yeah. For me, you know, one of the brands that I really like, that it doesn't always work for everybody, is Mazda, because of the engaging drive. I like to have fun with a vehicle that I own. That's what really attracts me to a vehicle. So, for example, if I needed a non-luxury SUV, I like the heavier steering and I like the engaging drive and a firmer suspension, but that doesn't work for everyone. And so you need to point that out in reviews. Someone might like something that is a little bit smoother and maybe more practical with space, like a RAV4.
Yeah, and that's where you have to put the hat on of the person who's shopping for the car.
Finally picked up my manual 2024 VW GTI. Tell VW they have you to thank.
Nice.
Well, thank you. Was there a specific bracket you used for the front license plate installation on Mellow Yellow? Thanks for all the great work. Loving my manual GTI. You made a good purchase.
Yeah,
there.
it's a great car, and
Yeah.
it's like it's a keeper. You know, they're not making another one. I mean, they're making more GTIs, just not with a manual. So yes, when we got the car, we need to have a front license plate in this province. So the dealer actually just zip tied it to the grill, and then I found, I can't remember, wish I had the name of it, but there is a company that sells a bracket where it doesn't drill into the front of the car. It basically clips around the grill and it cinches it in.
That was great that the dealership did that, because it actually looks pretty good.
Well,
bad.
the guy who was delivering the car, he knows people who are getting GTIs, they might not want holes in their front bumper. So he said, I didn't put it on until you got here. Where do you want it? I can just strap it to the front for now. And I said, perfect. And then I found this one and stuck it on. So that was pretty simple, and no holes were drilled in the front of the car.
And I just want to say we're sitting in the Mazda Miata that we purchased, and manual transmission. And this holds a special place in my heart, this vehicle, just because I learned to drive manual on an MX-5. So I'll always have fond memories of this vehicle.
Well, there you go. Actually, that's not quite true, Andrea. The very first time you ever drove a manual was with the black BMW M6.
Yeah.
Now, you got it into second gear.
I did.
And that was about, I picked this road because there's no traffic.
It's pretty good though.
It's been not bad. But Andrea got it going. but that car was a handful. It had a very heavy clutch.
It was a handful for a first time
Pretty
try
damn
on the
cool
manual.
car. Pretty cool car. What was the
Yeah.
first car you learned to drive manual? A 1988 BMW M6, one of
Yeah.
35 sold in Canada. That was a pretty cool car.
Oh my gosh, what's
figure.
going on here?
I can't wait
Go
for the weed whacker
figure.
to start up. So there it is. That's number 200.
200.
Not a lot of new car content in there, but you had some
No.
good questions, and they didn't
Well-
answer anything too personal.
No, and I like that. Ask us anything. So I thought that was kind of fun for the 200th episode.
And we're on track with 100 a year.
100
So
a year,
300 will
yeah.
be sometime, probably late summer next year.
And we're going to work on the podcast for you as well. And I think that
so-
was a really good suggestion, by the way. Release this on YouTube, and then maybe a week or a week and a half later, put it out for the podcast, and then it'll
You know what'll happen
keep
is when we get to
updating.
300 next summer, someone will say, yeah, about that podcast.
No, we're going to do it. I promise we're going to work on that, okay? And if you want to get a question in for future episodes, follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday I post, and Zach and I are holding coffee. The post is only up for a short time because we are flooded with questions and we can only answer, so many per episode.
So we'll see you next time.
See you next time.